Okay, but this is not a good place for you to be. I'm trying to... It's not okay. I have a cigarette. Every time this happens, I say, I love you, baby. And I put you back down. Yeah, I know. I've been making videos with Samira demanding affection for years. I had ones on Facebook that were just called Samira Demands Affection. Might even still be on this channel. This video is going to be a chat about current events. I know, baby. Cold, allergies, the mold. No. No. Everybody's got a cough. It is not outside the realm of possibility that patented technology that exists is being used to fiddle with stuff in the sky. I'm going to say it like that and avoid the things that make them upset being said. It's real, it's patented, it's out there. However, at the same time, while the formation of the storm itself can also be possibly shown to be magnetic, and the sun doing what it's doing, if you're not paying attention to that, you're missing out. The sun has been more active in the last week than it's been for months, and it's been fairly active for months. An X9 flare, we're approaching the next order of magnitude above X. And auroras, if you catch them, I have not had the opportunity. I've tried a few times and there's been nothing, and probably happening at times that are completely inconvenient for me to go look. It would not be inaccurate to say that we don't have a functioning federal government at this time. The way the expression would more go is to say we don't have a federal government, but the truth is we do. It's outlined by the Constitution. The facilities exist, and therefore the people operating the facilities lay claim to being said infrastructure in practice. But it doesn't seem to function. And there are instances, and I don't know that they're the rule. I have no idea. And so I have to acknowledge that I have no idea. Step 3, know that you know nothing. There was a situation a while back where it turned out that some bureau in the Russian government had been granted a fairly large amount of money to go operate a business front in America and collect Western ideologues and content creators. And they didn't necessarily have it was a weird setup. They paid an enormous amount of money to a few people. Some folks were like, yeah, that's too much. Some folks said, I have a bad feeling I'm not doing this. And they've unpersoned a couple of people that were the American runners of it. And nobody really, they know that these people knew what it was, but as far as how into it they were, I don't know. But it was a whole thing, and it's kind of scandalous. And so the thing is, they did the same thing on left-sidedness too. They do both. So a lot of the division that's being sown is not even being sown by our own government. It's being sown by other governments in ways which our government sometimes does in other places in the world. Given that, you have to be careful with the stuff you're being shown algorithmically. Remember that the device that you're using is just a device that you're using, and that what it is presenting to you is simply a curated amount of information. And it's kind of the ultimate point of this video, the thing that made me want to start recording. Everything you can look up on the internet is what is allowed to be there. And if you find something that is not allowed to be there, it won't be there for long, because everyone's stuff is being tracked. Oh, that's why you get a VPN. The fucking VPN's probably getting tracked too. I can't say for certain. Know that you know nothing. It likely is. And they may not be able to determine specifically from readouts. It's what you've got is information going at a certain time in a certain direction from this to other places that corresponds with a time that yours sends into the VPN, which your device can log. And therefore your carriers can still see. Activity, match, arrest, or whatever. That is in the case of if they decided to start rounding up dissidents. Anyone with a voice, anyone who dares to dissent, you reach a certain point, not just in popularity, but in philosophy, ideology, morality of your content, of your speech, of whatever, as long as you're participating in the online conglomerate. And it's unfortunate that you can't just use the internet and content creation as a means to propagate ideas among people. We have an unfunctional government. We have an election coming up. It's possible the government may be able to become a little bit more functional, but there must be a reckoning. The old guard, old school that are still in power now must be made aware, put on notice. We are lucky that states are not at war with other states. Given all that reasoning, if there was something that could cause people to truly, like, decide to get up and do something about it en masse, it would be things like government helicopters destroying volunteer gathered rescue materials and supplies at a disaster, where the federal government and the local government working together have all said, y'all stay out of it. To all the people that were like, hey, we can help, because we're hearing that there are people who are trapped that aren't being helped. And the whole story being, you know, keep it official. Let us know. We have right of airspace. And it's like, okay, but if you're not taking flights, we're going to take flights. Well, you can't do that. You'll get arrested. That's absurd. For there to be so much money going out to other countries, it's a kleptocracy, I'm telling you. And so little going to people, and so it's taking so long, and then there's another storm coming. It's just going to keep, the hits are going to keep coming. And also the thing I said at the very beginning of the video with these storms. It is within the realm of possibility that other countries are doing that, while simultaneously the kleptocrats in office right now, including their Lich King puppet, are basically bought out by them, this other country that has the technology, and their buddy, who we should actually be allies with against that country, but nobody's going to do that. All that stuff is happening. As you can find hard numbers, real data, actual information, facts, and you can verify the validity of those facts, and it's possible they can all come out to be accurate. And having all of these facts, you will have talking heads, admonishers, nagging people on the device that you're using, admonishing and nagging about what is and is not real, what is and is not true, what you are and are not allowed to think and believe. And they will say that it is all caused by us, humanity at large, climate, and that's the cause behind everything. Not the sun, not other countries hacking the weather with patented technology. We are being spied on and at the same time manipulated by completely different parties. And of the upcoming election, I can only say, you better have your eyes open. You better be watching all the things that they stop allowing people to talk about. And if you don't know, then find your local conspiracy nut and ask them, because they'll probably have a pretty good handle on it. I think this time, if Trump wins, there will not be riots. We might be told that there are, and then there will be people saying, well, I'm right where they said it's happening, and there ain't nothing doing here. I think the people that are running it might be pathological. Because a lot of the other things they've been doing indicate that they are just kind of still going through the motions and doing the thing as if that's enough. Meanwhile, the people who are actually paying attention can easily see that that is all that they are doing. Final comment is, I'm not going to make judgments and I'm not going to speculate on anything to do with the Styx Hexenhammer 666 scandal that is unfolding. But I've seen some information and things, and it's like, well, okay, he did go to jail. Everyone's like, oh, well, they always take the guy to jail. My ex-wife brought sheriff's deputies to the house saying that I would get violent and upset when she picked up and moved out and informed me that was what was happening. And they sat there and I sat there and nothing happened. I did not get arrested. They picked up and left, and when they were gone, the deputies gave me their cards, said, if you ever need anything, give us a call. It's obvious what happened here. There was no jail. There was no arrest. There were no charges, even though she told people that I was abusive. Now then I see this video with the girl with the bloody nose, and in the background you can hear what obviously sounds like the voice of the guy, but you can't see him. And I'm not trying to slam the victim or alleged victim. However, I am paying attention to the advances in AI, what can be done. And it's possible that that whole thing was a setup. It's possible that what's shown as him ranting, it's also possible that the rant heard is computer generated. You can tell it what words to use. Pick a set of videos of that person's voice and boom, there you go. And you can rerun it a few times and select excerpts from all of them until you have exactly what you think it should sound like. And then you can go with that. And that could be done too, especially if someone is, what's the word? Deranged enough to do that to someone. So I'm not going to judge and I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to realistically appraise, as an outsider, the knowledge that I have and the experience that I have. However, I'm at the same time a little bit leery. I can read body language. Bro's fucking nervous. He could be nervous because there's a secret. He could be nervous because there's not a secret, and he's bothered by the fact that he's getting in trouble for something he didn't do. It could be either one, and I haven't discerned that yet. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, if you're basing your concept of universe on that Laniakea model, that is simply one part of a much larger structure, what they're finding out. And it's also possible that the directions that they thought they were indicating were incorrect because they did not have sufficient data. And they have upgraded it and it has changed. We are flowing into the, what do they call it? The Shapley supercluster. Laniakea appears to actually be flowing into that via the Shapley attractor. Whatever that means. I know from the maps and whatever that what they're indicating it means, but I don't know what causes it. That's about all I got for this. You may have seen my auto repair video from earlier. It was kind of par for the course. There's so many old parts on this car. They're not too difficult to replace as long as the things that they're coming in and out of are not also old and decrepit. Life is good. Treasure these moments.